Welcome back to Wedlocked and Loaded.
Wedlocked and loaded.
You women.
Do not lump us all in one category.
So you girls and lie and stretch the truth
You
and try
girls,
to get us jammed up.
First of all, I'm a whole ass woman, right? Think about
No
that.
disrespect.
Sounds like it to me. So why can't y'all? What is it with men that they just can't walk away?
Depends how good it is. You don't want to give that away. It's another edition of Wedlocked and Loaded. I am Daniel Laurent.
I am Leah Nicole, and we are putting glasses down. Okay, cool.
What?
And we are.
What do you mean? Oh, the show. What? Didn't I? I started with that. Greetings, ladies and germs.
I don't know.
This is a new episode. I thought I said Wedlock.
I don't know. It's a new episode, and then you introduce yourself.
All right.
Whatever.
Greetings, ladies and germs.
I don't think folks want to be called germs.
Maybe. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen.
Greetings, folks. Period.
I don't really use folks.
That's all right. I do.
So you say folks.
What up, everybody?
That doesn't. Okay. New edition, new episode of Wedlocked and Loaded. I am your humble and highly favored. I took that from humbled and highly favored
Far from humble
host Daniel Laurent, and
I'm Leah Nicole, and I'm not sure where he got that he was humbled and highly favored. You know what? He is highly favored,
and I'm humble.
You can be humbled.
I'm gonna talk my shit tonight, though.
That's cool.
So yeah,
that's real cool.
You see?
Yeah. So I think
you don't even know where to go.
No, I do. I read something. I'm constantly like reading and hijacking people's memes.
Tell me about it.
I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but whatever.
Facts.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Was this on the Shade Room?
No, it wasn't. It was like some word porn shit. I don't know.
No comment.
But anyway, it was basically saying like, you know. Well, let me pose this question before I even state the thing. Actually, no, I won't. It was saying like you can't expect you from people, right? Like, and when I think of that quote, I think of, like relationships, period. Blood, somebody you sleeping with, somebody that you just been rocking with for years. Or just, somebody that you just met, right? Like, we treat you. I mean, at least you should. You should treat others how you want to be treated, right? But you don't necessarily get that in return. And I think that, I guess from all that, I would like to know, like, at what point, or do you ever accept what other people are or are not giving you within those relationships? Again, whether it's family, whether it's, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend from way back when, or somebody that, you just encountered. Should you expect you from people?
That's a real question.
Yeah.
Should I expect me from other people?
It's kind of like a two-part question, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Because I think at one point in my life, I operated that way. Mm-hmm. I operated expecting, because for me, what I do is normal to me. Mm-hmm. And what other people do is normal to them. Mm-hmm. I think the level of intention and attention that I put into things that I do for others in the way that I am genuinely like being of service and not without pay, just like my normal self. Other people don't operate that way and walk through life that way. And so, I think an analogy I can give is, we went to Vegas years ago, whenever that was. And, in Massachusetts, there's the, you can't smoke indoors. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, I know people smoke cigarettes. Mm-hmm. But no one in our immediate circle, smokes cigarettes. And so, like, we don't really smell it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we see somebody smoking on the street, it's not really a big deal or whatever. But it's not, like, in our reality of, like, cigarettes. So going to Vegas and sit next to somebody and they just light up a cigarette, I'm like, yo, what is this? And it, like, burnt my eyes. And, like, it's the first time in my life I ever had to use Visine. It was just awful. My eyes were burning. They were red. And it made me look at things interestingly, and I was like, I think when you create your own kind of ecosystem, you know what I mean, you can really like have your own almost utopia, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And different people have their own. So like some people's circle and their ecosystem is a bunch of takers and people who are constantly calling them and asking them to borrow money or asking them to babysit their kids or asking them to give them a ride somewhere or asking them to like just constant. And I don't have that, but it's been work to not have that. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's like I don't necessarily expect myself. However, I think I'm open enough, I'm honest enough, I articulate my feelings and my thoughts and my morals and what I stand on, and I lead by example. So treat others how you want to be treated. Like I feel like I really do that. Mm-hmm. And so if anyone is close enough to talk to me and interact with me and that I'm helping, they see that. And so whether they acknowledge it or respect it or care is different. And so when I'm mishandled, I get really hurt. And then that hurt turns to anger. Mm-hmm. And then from there, like it kind of, then I'll eventually get over it. But it takes me a minute. But it genuinely like hurts me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that I'm also tired of going through life and being hurt. Because it's not a matter of disappointed.
But is it though?
I don't think it's disappointing. I mean, I guess it could be, but it's more it's hurt. But like, there's some situations. It
derives from what? It derives from the disappointment.
Yeah, I guess so.
That you're feeling from whatever, whoever.
I guess so. Yeah. And I genuinely want to I think and I don't want to say most people, but I think a lot of people operate on the basis of I'll do for you, but what can you do for me? If I equate it to so hip hop, right? Equate it to like hip hop, and obviously there's business dealings and all that type of stuff, but like you and just because I just watched the Drink Champs, you got 2 Chainz who was signed to Ludacris, and he was always who he was as an artist. Mm-hmm. But Ludacris was the bigger artist. Mm-hmm. And so Ludacris never kind of shined that light on him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he had to leave that situation in order for him to, you know what I mean? He was Titty Boy and he changed himself to 2 Chainz. And there's a bunch of different examples of like people who will not shine a light for their own either insecurities or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they don't have the right paperwork on a person so they can benefit. But it's not a lot of people that I have met that are genuine and just doing things out of the kindness of their heart just for like to pay it forward. Like I believe in paying it forward. Mm-hmm. I believe just because the music business is fucked up doesn't mean that you have to operate in the music business that way. Just because, your circumstances are whatever doesn't mean that, because you grew up without a father, like that doesn't give you the carte blanche to repeat the same cycle. Like I just don't believe in that. Genuinely, I don't believe in it. You know what I'm saying? So what do you do about that? You have to, and I always say intentional. I've started saying that more, but you have to be intentional to not do it. So we talked about in the last show intention versus impact. And so it may not be a person's intention to hurt me, but the impact is that. And if you know that you hurt me and you have a certain arrogance, or you are not fucking apologetic about it at the least, then what are we doing? And so now my attitude is fuck you across the board. And I don't care who you are now.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. So, I mean, I kind of alluded to it in the beginning. So, like, at what point do you know or say, I'm straight?
Now.
Right.
But in a relationship,
in general, like,
I don't know. I'm not a glutton for punishment.
So,
and me and you, and me,
with that,
I'm not a glutton for punishment, but I genuinely see.
You have definitely been gluttonous. Okay.
That's not true, Leah.
Okay.
I mean, I can see and respect how you could say that, but I genuinely.
Gluttonous. And I'm not saying that it was across every board, but I'm just saying, you definitely had bouts of gluttonous.
Is it gluttonous or gluttony?
Did you hear me correct myself?
No.
When you
I heard you steal as I said it.
No, I was already saying, I had already said it, and I repeated it out loud the second time, even louder.
We can listen to this back.
I don't care, but yeah, right? Like, cause I mean, and I'll let you get back in to what you were saying. But I want you to think about, like, early on you talked about having people who would, take, always calling to borrow money, always asking, for favors. And now you basically, you pretty much weeded those people out. Or, and I won't even say weeded them out, but I think that you actually put up some boundaries. And so, you don't feel like those things happen, and damn sure not as often as they used to, right? But, like, how did you know? Like, at what point was it, yeah, no, this ain't working for me? And then how did you go forward from that?
I think there's different levels of taking. I think there's shameless taking, where it's like, I'm going to call and, like, borrow money for my utilities because I mismanaged my money, and now I'm going to make that your problem and ask you to bail me out. And there's, my car's broken down. Let me just go through a couple of names and see who can help me, right? And that's not the same to me as that other person. But however, if the person that they're calling is dealing with all those different people, it's just constant, like, just abuse. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I think that when it comes to a person, knowing like limits and stuff like that, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure at one point. I'm not really sure at what point it enough is enough. But I think each person I gauge in a different way. And it's a matter of feeling. So if I know a person is really, like, just can't get a break, you know what I'm saying? Which, like, that was the first album I put out, the title, Can't Get a Break, and it still can't get a break. And I never operate on, like, a woe was me, but it's like, yo, some people really, like, you get your check and you lose it before you go to the check cashing place or to the bank. You lose your wallet. Or the moment you get your tax return and you have plans to do something, your muffler falls off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just constant. Or like, you're so happy to get that tax return and you got all these plans and you get a letter in the mail and you're being audited. And it's like, God damn, So that person that I see is constantly getting up and getting slapped in the face, I view that person differently, and my natural instinct is to help. And I wanna help as much as I can to help them along and make their day be less stressful, or if there's anything that I can contribute within my means, and not like taking money out of the bank or letting them use my car for a month. Like, I want to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Versus a person that's just constantly like, taking trips and buying fucking Gucci belts and Prada shoes and blah blah blah, and now they have a jam and they need me to get them out of it. Like, it's like, well, figure it out.
I mean, and so yeah, I understand. Like those are, they are definitely two different types of people, and those variables matter. But still, like, I don't know, like, I think when I have to ask myself that question, like, I would say that it's definitely hard to say exactly what is what, because like you said, of those variables, right? But I think that it is absolutely important to put those boundaries up, and I think we learn that too late sometimes, right?
If ever.
And if ever, I think that some of us are natural, um, natural givers and natural doers, and initially, and I don't think at ever, but we tend to we do it because it's something that we want to do, and not because it's what we're looking forward to in the return, right? But I think that certain people, um, they just keep going and going, and at you being, a human, right? Like, if you notice that, oh damn, well, every time I call you, I can't either A, get a hold of you, um, B, like, I don't feel comfortable asking for your help, or C, every, the one, two, or two times that I did, you couldn't do it, like, or even, I don't know if I was counting or saying alphabets, but whatever I'm on, um, but they don't even offer,
Hmm.
you know. I think I I know, for me, like, being that kind and generous person for so long and for so many, whether it was, a place to stay, whether it was, people needing to borrow money, but I mean, you name it, right? Whatever the case that may have been, um, I've definitely had my moment, um, my moments, and those, so many of those, I feel like absolutely changed who I am. My trust factor is, you know, it's hard for me to trust folks. Um, I think that, I like, I don't know. It's really hard for me to trust people, and not just in a simple sense of, oh, I lent them $20, I can't really trust them to give me back. But I'm saying, like, with who I am completely, like, totally, right? Like, I don't. It's, trusting you with my heart, right? And I mean, not with just like my love, but just my generosity, like just trusting you with me, period, right? That takes a certain level of vulnerability, And once you've been crossed so many times, like you do get jaded, you know. And but how do you come from that? How do you come from that jade?
For me, it was important for me not to, live in that. And I think a good chunk of people that I have interacted with, befriended, love, they stay in that, and it's self preservation, and it's a shield and it's protection. I don't want to be hurt again, so I'm gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying. And so, but for me, leading with, and you've said before, like I put people on pedestals,
Absolutely.
and I never looked at it that way, but I really, you know, some people, and again, I can't say most, but I think some people lead with skepticism, and you have to prove yourself otherwise. I lead with giving you the benefit, and we're starting on a clean slate, or you're starting at 100 and you have to work your way down, instead of starting you at 1 and you have to work your way up to 100. And that's been a problem for me. That's been my detriment.
Yeah.
And so when a person, I'm starting at 100, immediately drops to a fucking 4, it's like it hurts.
It's a big blow, huh?
And it's a narrative of like, oh, DL's too sensitive, or he's over the top and blah blah blah. And it's like, I'm tired of that narrative, yo. Because it's not a matter of being too sensitive or being overly sensitive or hypersensitive, but I don't like to be mishandled. And again, I'm not a person where if you're around me, you kind of are not clear on how I am or what I hold near and dear or the way I've handled you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like community effort shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like and there's times, I feel like recently, like the universe has been slapping me in the face and shit with time mismanagement, you know what I'm saying? But like, I manage my time and I figure it out, and it's a pet peeve of mine when people say how busy they are. Like, I really, 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 really don't like that. Because you could find time for whatever you want to do at the end of the day. If you want to do it, whether it's going out to dinner for restaurant week, whether it's fucking going to play golf, whether it's whatever, you will figure it out. You will figure it out. And so I'd rather not hear 20 minutes of you say how busy you are, instead of just telling me when you're available, right? I don't believe in giving a full dissertation on your schedule. I care, but I don't care, because I know the world doesn't care. Nobody cares. So I believe that as a foundational principle. So there's certain things that I've realized, and as I've gotten older, there's certain foundational things that I stand on. And my word is my word. So if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Word is bond.
If, my name is attached to something, my name is... Any event that I've ever committed to and my name has been on a flyer, I've never missed it. That's important to me. My number has been the same since...
Okay.
What?
It's been the same for a while. You don't need to date how long it's been the same.
I wasn't...
Don't want nobody feeling like, oh, the same? Oh, let me give this fool a call.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I'm not accessible. And, for me, I've never wanted to miss opportunities. And I always feel like if someone's calling me, there's a reason for it. And you have people that call and shoot the shit. But because of how I answer the phone, I'm usually doing something. I'm very rarely just like sitting with my fucking hand in my pants, watching, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Usually I feel like there's a reason. And I would
I
hate
mean, I
myself if
definitely.
someone's calling because they need something in that moment, and that could have been a phone call that I missed, that then they killed themselves or harmed themselves or tried to, you know what I'm saying? Or took a penitentiary chance because I didn't answer the phone and I couldn't. So I think of that. So when a person calls me, I'm like, oh, what's up, bro? Or what's up, sis? Or what's up? You know what I'm saying? And so, but that's my fault for making myself so accessible because other people don't extend me that courtesy. When I call and I get a voicemail, for the most part, most people I deal with will call me right back
Yeah.
because I'm also not a time suck when I'm talking to them. Yeah, and I'm very mindful of people's time like that. But it's just like, and we are speaking in generalities, yo. But when it comes to like the shit that I try to help, whether you are artists, whether you have, you know, whether you're an artist, whether you have like a organization, a fucking whatever, yo, like I give and I give and I give. In all of my years of experience of going to FIT for marketing and getting A's, you know what I'm saying? Like I got I got C's and like D's in my math classes, but in English and marketing and advertising, communications, um, in my marketing major, like I got straight A's in. I graduated valedictorian. Like I worked at a top leading dermatology office for
A
over
long
19
time.
years.
So
You
I,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, and I think that that I don't think that anybody
Hold,
can take that
hold
from
on,
you.
actually,
Yeah.
because you know what? Now it's like now because this is the thing I don't do, and I'm not really interested in doing this going forward.
Too down, baby.
But that having the foresight when everybody was on MySpace and saying, "Well, I want to have my own website because what if MySpace disappears?" And not knowing what to do and finding and Googling and buying my domain name and creating my own website. And then MySpace disappears. And I'm one of the only people in my peer group that has their own website. And that's a fact. Even to this day, there aren't a lot of people that have their own website. And if you do, you click on it and it's fucking under construction or some dumb shit. So that creating my own label and getting the EIN number and self-made entertainment and like putting out my own shit and having the foresight to for one of my albums have a video camera and be filming sessions and filming shows and filming interviews with artists and learning how to edit it and editing it myself and putting it with the CD and selling a CD and a DVD and paying for that and doing all this shit on my own, yo.
Yeah.
And going to shows and like and throwing my own shows and booking artists and pay, like all this shit, all this experience, having my own radio show, doing my own ads,
Yeah.
editing, then doing another radio show with someone else and being a co-host and the shit falling apart. But I always gave it my best effort. The first group that I was ever in, I was the only one going to the rehearsals. When both of my band members, and God bless the dead, Sabrion, rest in, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sad that I seen him, and I didn't stop to say what's up. And the next time I heard of him, he passed. But my bandmates were busy fucking around, yo. And I was the only one that kept was serious. So back in the beginning of my
You've
shit,
always been steadfast and focused, and at the end of the day about your business, right? And no one can take that from you. I think that even with that, whether they see it or not, initially, a lot of times because they are not walking in their purpose, it you know, it makes it just a little bit harder for them to actually appreciate you walking in yours. But I do, I definitely know, like, how frustrating that could be to let someone in and to be willing to, you know, help them. I mean, this is the jaded part of me. I'm jumping around, so my apologies. But this is the part of me that I was talking about, in terms of like being jaded. And so, like, if I feel comfortable with you and I let you in and I let some of them boundaries down, some of them walls down, I expect for you to handle me in a certain way, right? And so when, like you said earlier, when you get mishandled and you continuously get mishandled, as I stated, you put this wall up. I lost my train of thought. Shoot. Anyway.
But putting your wall up, does that then chip away at your natural being?
To some degree, it does,
See,
right?
I've been mindful to not let
Yeah.
that happen.
I mean, and that you said that too, and I'm like, like that's cool, right? But I think I don't, I can't say that you haven't, but I don't believe that, you were as tolerant and as tolerable and, initially forgiving as I was, and again, like after like time and time, and I think too, what's
As
so
forgiven to each other or to other people?
just in general, I'm generally speaking.
Mm,
I'm generally speaking. I think I think for me, when I realized that it was time for me to say enough is enough, it wasn't even a matter of me feeling like recognizing how people were taking advantage. At least that's what I felt at the moment of me. It was me watching somebody else get taken advantage of or mishandled, where I was like, that's crazy. That'll never be me. Meanwhile, it's me all day, right? But once I started recognizing,
because you were in it, you didn't see it that way.
I mean, well, I think in general, like it's just thinking back for me, like it's just really hard for me to ask people for anything.
Same.
And a lot of times, like I'll take the weight, but like a lot of times, like even when I needed help, I didn't ask for it. I may have alluded, you know what I'm saying, or even like been straight up like, yo, this is crazy, this is what I'm going through, but it's never been like, oh, yo, how can I help? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you need, what you need. And so once I started realizing that after watching what I saw, it was just like, yeah, so like you said, I stopped being accessible. I stopped being available. Like I could remember, I had clearly had a friend, and every time she called, like, I was like, oh, what's up? Oh, you need your hair done? I come through. Oh, what's up? You need an outfit? I come through. Oh, what's up? Oh, you want me to you you need food for a party? All right, cool, no problem. Oh, you need a gift for a birthday party or a baby shower? I got you, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's crazy, but every time I would pick up my phone to call her, and it was never like, hey, do you have, can I get? But anyway, so I had noticed. I was like, damn, like every time I call this chick, like, yo, she's never answering her phone. I I don't even know if we had text messages back then. I don't know, but so initially I was like, okay, well, the people, everybody was heading off to college at this time, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm home. I got a kid or whatever. I mean, I'm still working and doing whatever. So I was like, okay, like I kind of was making excuses, like, oh, they're in school, whatever, like. But sure enough, I was getting them same phone calls, and my phone calls continued to go unanswered. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm straight. I'm good. Like, I can't. Actually, I didn't even. Nope, not even then. Not even then. But there was a time when it did happen. And at that point, we were 25. We was about 20 years into the friendship. You know what's so interesting? I don't even know if you remember this conversation that we had. When, like, I couldn't understand and I was so hurt. Like, you literally said those words to me.
What?
You can't expect you from other people.
Interesting.
You said those words to me.
Hmm. Hmm.
You, like, that's crazy. You said those words to me. And again, like, not necessarily taking heed of your own advice.
Hmm.
But I guess, I mean, we all have to have our fill, right? Like, we have to reach our limit, our boiling point, in order to turn stuff around, or not. But I don't take it, I don't know.
Like, you know, again, putting things in,
Perspective.
just, well, not in perspective, but like in hip hop terms, right?
Oh, okay.
So, anyone who knows me or my musical taste knows how much I love Slaughterhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are the only group.
Well, it used to be anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they're the only group that, like, I was like a fanboy for.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so excited, and like, shout to Leeds, like, what I'm saying, I met them on my actual birthday. They performed, I went backstage, and like, I met them, and I didn't have much to say, but I was like, oh my god, and like, it was so great to me, right? And then whatever, like, really isn't about Slaughterhouse, but you know they haven't recorded. People have been doing their own things. It's been stuff behind the scenes. Two of the members, Crooked Eye, Joel Ortiz, put out an album, The Rise and Fall of Slaughterhouse. You know, have the pig on the front cover because their logo was a pig, like Slaughter, right? And the pig is on fire. And they got merchandise in the video, like burning the t-shirts and like moving pictures out of the house, and it's all this symbolism stuff. And it's wild to me, you know what I'm saying? And like, Joe Budden and Royce the 5'9", who are they're the two favorites of mine. They always have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they feel away. They didn't know this album was being done. It's at their expense. It's at the brand's expense. It's at the fans' expense. It's wild. But, Crooked Eye and Joel Ortiz, whether they genuinely don't see anything wrong with it,
Mm-hmm.
or they see something wrong with it, but it's an opportunity and the bag is more important.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wild that would be done. And it's a lot of talk of, well, wanted to give closure to the fans, and this keeps being asked, and blah blah blah, and it's like, but they were all solo artists. Like, I don't understand how that was ever even an option to do something like that. And as a lover of them as an entity,
Oh, okay.
like, it 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 kind of broke my heart to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's interesting. You see people on each of their pages, like the Peanut Gallery. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the album's fire, and and this, that, and the third, and good for you, and oh man, I can't wait. And it's like, yo, like, what's the foundation? What's the foundation of people? What's people's moral character? Like T.K. Kirkland, like, who raised you? Like, how do you think that's okay at the brand's expense? So I say that because there's a fundamental difference between myself and most others that I interact with, and it bothers me. And I believe that, if you believe in reincarnation, all that stuff, like, I do believe that I was here before. Mm-hmm. And I believe that I learned what I learned and whatever, and you know what I'm saying? And I believe when we did our thing with Tommy, mm-hmm. you know what I'm saying? I forgot what it was, but when we went in like past life or what have you, mm-hmm. like I was a preacher. Oh. And I was the preachers at that time were actually doctors also, and mm-hmm. so they were healers. Mm-hmm. And I didn't put a whole lot of stock into it at the time. Mm-hmm. But as I've grown up and matured, like, it makes sense in the way that I move and what I do. I genuinely try to help. Right. You know what I'm saying? In a real way. And not just throwing money at people. Like, right. It's not about that.
No.
But people don't respect that.
So, you know what it is, well, I guess, I don't know if I totally agree with them not respecting it.
If you respect something, what do you do?
So, but
because this is the Drink Champs thing. What's more important, respect or loyalty? And how do you answer that?
I answer it respect. I feel like if you have that high level of respect for me, you have no choice but to fucking be loyal. Like,
okay. So do you feel like people? So I said I feel like people don't respect. You said you don't know if you agree with that. So the opposite is you feel like people respect the way in which I am and the way I try to help people. And so that means what?
So what I'm saying is I don't think that is right necessarily respect. But I guess somebody may equate it to be the same, but like, they don't value it because they just don't know how. They don't know the value of it. Like, that's the way that I see it. And at the end of the day, that saying it will forever and always ring true, right? You will need me before I need you.
Whether that's, I guess. I will say this, right? When it comes to statements like that, mm-hmm. or, they're just jealous, or... Mm-mm. No. I'm not... I'm saying, like, yeah. Statements like that, mm-hmm. and there can be truth to it.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, I didn't get that because, they're racist, or they're sexist, or, like, generalities like that, I've genuinely, for the majority of my life, stayed away from. So I haven't said, even when it could have been clear signs of a person being jealous of me, mm-hmm. I don't, because again, I'm still trying to find the good in them and saying, well, absolutely. Maybe it's, You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily say like you're gonna need me before, but
and
because
that's
I'm
not.
so disappointed, I don't even want to think that way.
So that is not even necessarily a thing where like you actually verbalize it, right? Like you may feel it. I mean,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bottom line is that it is true. Like you've needed me, or mm, you've needed me for so many times for this long, right? Like, and you think now because what um you're upset because I possibly told you no that you wanna talk crazy or you know what I'm saying in the friendship, and it's like okay, cool.
But then they just move on to do it to somebody
So
else.
they can, right? But at the end of the day, for everyone, and I don't walk around with this like at the top of my head or you know what I'm saying, weighing heavily in my heart or on my heart. But for every one person that has done that, has been that person to me, and again, I don't verbally say it like but it is definitely something that is, and it's an unconscious thought. They have absolutely called,
Oh, I don't.
whether it was to try to mend the friendship, and actually that was, those were the majority of the calls.
But is it the same?
Oh, I don't know because
You haven't gone back.
I haven't gone back.
Well, I asked a friend recently, can time hurt or help?
I think it can do both.
That's what he said, right? I think it depends on what it is. I think time allows my life to develop and construct minus you. So as you are
I can
taking your
understand that,
time to help,
to heal.
right? To heal, but the time is helping you.
Mm-hmm.
It's hurting with me because once you, it's like the pie,
I
is
get it. I
it's
understand.
90%.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 95. Now it's 96, 97, 99, and now you come in and maybe you are 15%, but there's no room now. There's no room
Mm-hmm.
in that pie.
Mm-hmm.
So I my process is what my process is, and I'm not big on holding grudges. And I think
Right.
my genuine process, and even with death, and I think the first time I saw this process happen in my life is I think when Patrice was murdered is the first time I saw this play out in myself, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't recognize it then. But I dealt with that so hard in that moment in real time, like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then it manifested into different things and like different octopus arms or whatever. But at the funeral, people were like, "Oh, you were so strong," and it's like I didn't break down, and I wasn't a mess. I was very, you know what I'm saying, like boom, 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 boom. And then fast forward when my father died, like I knew he was gonna die before he did. I knew that was the last time I was gonna see him. I knew when I got the phone call and I flew to Framingham, and I must have did like 90 miles an hour or something crazy. I got to Framingham in like 15 minutes or less, which is insane. I knew. And, you know, at his funeral, same thing. I say that to say when it comes to things that are like earth shattering, whether minuscule or whether micro or macro, I deal with it really hard in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a matter of like Wolverine, right? That's a perfect analogy, like Wolverine like healing himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to linger with it and like not deal with it. So even when me and you will go back and forth, and like if we're going back and forth and arguing or whatever, and absolutely it could be something where it's not productive, and so we need to stop. but I want to keep going. No, I don't want to end this and now the shit's not resolved and now a week's going by. No, no, no. I want to figure this out now.
Right, but so I think what's important to that point is that sometimes now doesn't work, whether you want it to or not.
Yeah, I know.
And again, because it's something that you want, you still can't expect you from other people.
Well,
That doesn't that, but that you know what I mean. Like that doesn't.
my
Mean,
attitude is fuck everybody now, Leah.
but you
And
know,
what I and
so that sounds like the jaded part, right?
it's not jaded. It's just a new way. And
So,
what I mean by that is it's obviously not fuck everybody.
mm-hmm.
But what I mean is like if I don't feel like doing it, I won't do it.
Absolutely.
I think in the past, even if it was an even if it wasn't an inconvenience to my day, I would make it work and figure it out and do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't get that courtesy. Now when you
Right.
call, I am not at your mercy to answer.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. And if you ever want to have a conversation about that, I will entertain that once. Right. I give you once.
Uh-huh.
In anybody. And I can't even articulate anybody. The same way I am about Black Dollar, if somebody want to like have a conversation about that and what's that mean and how come, what if I have an Irish dollar shirt and whatever. Yeah. Like, I'll have that conversation with you. Right. I am not like, it's like my family and my unit and that's it. Mm-hmm. And I don't bother anybody. I'm not going around fucking all this shit, people reposting, sharing shit and sharing people's turmoils and troubles and you know what I'm saying? Right. Whether local or national. You know what I mean? Like I don't do that. I don't poke fun at people. You know what I'm saying? I identify fucking bozos. I'm not entertaining bozos. I'm not entertaining bozo conversations. Well, I'm so I'm on it. I'm frontlining. I mean it.
You've reached your fuck it point.
Yeah.
Yeah. You reached.
And it's a new day, and it's almost like it's almost like shedding, like a snake shedding their skin, mm-hmm. and it's kind of a beautiful process. But like we don't know if there's pain involved with the snake. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, don't ask me. I don't.
But like it's important for me not to change the core of who I am. Right. And that I can never allow to happen. However, the people that get that and that I pour into is going to be so limited. And I have a small handful of people that if I call and ask for anything, if they can't do it, they will figure out how to get it for me. And that feels so good, yo. That's pretty And dope. The majority of people, not so much.
That has to feel pretty dope. I don't.
But these aren't even the people that I fucking do shit for like that. That's the wow part.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
But again, that's what I'm saying. Where like the little things that you do, or just your mere presence, you know what I'm saying, is valued. That's just the bottom line. It's valued. And it's understood. That's the bottom line. I'm low key like a little jealous because I don't feel like I could pick up the phone and call somebody and be like, "Yo, I need blah 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 blah."
You have one for sure. I mean, you have more than one, but you have one for sure I can think of right now.
Well, you know what
And you may have actually like 5.
I'll take that. So this is what I'll say. I know for certain that I have one where like they absolutely like they offer. You know what I'm saying? And so but that's as an adult. Like that's as of like within what maybe. Well, I don't know now. But oddly enough, like going back to like not recognizing that, right? Like as I'm saying it, I had to think, like I had to actually like dig and think, and then it was like, oh, actually, I could take that back.
Hmm.
But again, it's like I'm not asking.
Hmm.
It's just mere conversation. And because we're on the phone so much, sometimes like things are heard that are not necessarily being spoken to, and it's like, oh, I can help.
That's dope.
You know.
Well,
So I will take that back. But through all the years and from all the people that I've, considered a friend, or, had, considered, like a good associate, or even sometimes family, like it's just not, it's not too many. It should be more than one. It should be more than two. It should be more than three.
hmm. And that's the part that's unfortunate. But, you know, I will say, thank you for formatting and structuring the show and steering it, because I definitely was like ready to like shoot everybody. And
So
so
here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask you not to do that. I'm asking you not to even say those words, because
oh, like literally?
like
No, no, no. Well, I mean,
I know you don't mean
figuratively speaking.
literally, but it's just
But
like
thank you, babe. You did a really good job. I appreciate it.
I mean,
Can I have a kiss?
oh no, you didn't kiss me the other night when I asked you for a kiss. You think I'm gonna kiss you because you asking? See?
So are you jaded?
I ain't jaded. I'm just not foolish.
So give me a kiss.
Nope.
Leah, if you don't kiss me, I will get a kiss.
See? You see that?
Leah, if I...
Did you kiss me the other night when I asked you for a kiss?
No, but you were being foolish.
Actually,
we bonded. Oh, we just bonded for 1 hour on a thing.
We've been bonding.
No, Leah, you was talking like you was answering wild questions.
You was mad at the question that I answered.
Yes, because that's crazy.
What part of it?
It's crazy and it's gross.
Well,
I don't want to get into it, Leah. It doesn't matter.
But
like
whatever.
You know what you said.
I didn't say anything. I took a drink though. But so what?
The moral of the story.
The moral of the story is.
It's all good, Leah.
It is.
Merry Christmas.
It's all good, and it will be all good.
I know. So we're gonna end this, and I'm gonna go and
Let me book my tickets right now.
I'm gonna watch porn or something.
Yeah,
on my
let
phone.
me book my tickets.
What are you talking about?
I'm about to fly out.
What does that have to do with anything we just spoke about?
Yeah, because you're trying to be funny.
Because I said I'm about to watch porn?
No.
So what are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. What are you talking about?
You about to watch porn. You about to get a kiss. If I don't kiss you, you're going to get a kiss. Let me fly out.
Leah, so that... Okay. So anyway... thank you guys for listening, and
keep talking your shit.
No, show's over. So thank you so much. We will see you next time. Wedlocked and loaded.
Wedlocked and loaded.
You like saying that, huh?
I like saying that. I like saying it just like that too.
Clearly. So we will see y'all next edition. Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna insert the outro here. Wedlocked and loaded.
Wedlocked and loaded.